What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Just finished streaming the first half or so of the combine drills today. Was a good amount of fun. We learned some stuff. We saw some interesting things. We went with the defensive linemen. So we got to see the defensive linemen go through all their drills. They did a 40, they did the hoop drill, they did some body control drills, some weave drills, all kinds of fun stuff. We definitely learned stuff. Definitely have more information to work with as we move towards draft season. Good amount of attendance. Definitely other people out there who are very interested in this combine stuff. I don't think I'm going to be doing it for the next couple of days, though. I do plan on doing it on Sunday for the offensive linemen, and I think we're just going to go ahead and leave it at that. For one, I have to stream from my laptop, which is a little bit of an issue because I can't put things up on screen and the quality isn't nearly as good. So I think I'm just going to do it again on Sunday and call it good at that. But it was a fun couple of hours. I'm going to watch the rest of the combine because it goes on for quite a bit today. And later tonight, I think I'm going to go ahead and post up a video kind of summarizing the main highlights of the day. So that'll be the defensive linemen and the linebackers. And I believe that includes edge rushers. So it'll be quite a bit of information. But I can't really make that video yet because we haven't even seen the linebackers and edge rushers really go yet. So we're not here to talk about that quite yet. But what we are here to talk about is a story from the Seattle Seahawks as of about 2 hours ago. So I didn't want to make a video while I was streaming the combine, but we should at least take a moment to discuss this because it's kind of interesting, even if I don't think it'll amount to much. Per Jordan Schultz and other sources as well, the Seahawks have given safety Rayshawn Jenkins permission to seek a trade. He joins a pretty significant list of players in the NFC West that have been given permission to seek a trade recently. Deebo Samuel, Matt Stafford, Jonah Jackson, and now Rayshawn Jenkins. And that's just off the top of my head. There might be one more. Like, I don't know if they're there with Brandon Ayuk yet, but apparently there is some interest in maybe trading for Ayuk. Cooper Kupp, of course, as well is on that list, I guess, from before the end of the season even. So Rayshawn Jenkins, permission to seek a trade. Now, this is an interesting one. Now, I don't think that there's any doubt, and I don't think there's any Seahawks fans out there that would contest the notion that Rayshawn Jenkins will not be on the team in 2025. He's on the second year of a 2-year deal with a significant amount of money attached to it, and most of that money will be saved if he's let go. So he won't be here. So that fact should not surprise anybody, and I don't think it should really disappoint anybody, because while Rayshawn Jenkins has put together a pretty decent NFL career, last year for the Seahawks, he was not really all that good. He wasn't terrible or anything, but for a guy who just turned 31, you need to be aware of the fact that he's probably not going to get better at this point. He's probably going to keep going the other way. He was not a very good tackler, although that may have had something to do with his broken hand. He didn't really make any plays on the ball in coverage. He got injured and missed a significant portion of the season, and his job was taken by Kobe Bryant in his first ever extended action playing safety at all. So I probably shouldn't be saying any of that just in case anybody watching this video is a general manager that is considering trading for Rayshawn Jenkins, but ignoring that, I think we can just admit that Rayshawn Jenkins was not very good here. And given the fact that he's owed significant non-guaranteed money in 2025, there's nothing really else to do. The highlights of his season were returning a fumble 100 yards for a touchdown against the Giants, which should not have counted because the Giants should have been given a touchdown on that play before the fumble. And also he had 2 sacks as a safety, which is something that we don't typically see in Seattle, so I guess that was kind of cool. But other than that, it was just kind of like he was just a guy. He was just a guy. I think you could replace Rayshawn Jenkins with any number of day 3 rookies and get similar results. It might not be quite as that player might not be quite as disciplined, but I think they would make up for it in other ways. So that part of it, no problem. I think we all expected this. Rayshawn is not going to be here. The question is anybody going to be willing to trade for him? I don't doubt that Rayshawn Jenkins belongs in the NFL in 2025 and beyond, but if you trade for him, that means you inherit his contract. And Rayshawn Jenkins' contract is somewhere around $8 million due to him in 2025. Now, the Seahawks would pay some of that money, but the team that trades for Rayshawn would inherit a significant chunk of those dollars. And they don't have to. If they just wait for the Seahawks to release Rayshawn Jenkins, which seems inevitable if they can't trade him, and then they can just sign him for the veteran minimum or slightly more than the veteran minimum and say, hey, we just saved a few $1,000,000 over what we would have done if we traded for him. By the way, if we trade for him, we're giving up a pick. And I don't think the pick would be anything of significance. I can't imagine anything more than like a 6th-round pick for Rayshawn. I would happily take the 6th-round pick for Rayshawn, better than nothing, personally. So it's not like that's a big deal, but the money is. So I don't know who the Seahawks are trying to pull one over on. There are bad GMs in the NFL for sure. There might be GMs that you could trick here. There might be some team that you could boondoggle a little bit. And I know it's not really a boondoggle when we're talking about like a 6th rounder, but this is a player who it's very clear is going to get released before his non-guaranteed money becomes guaranteed. So I don't know why you would do it unless you like him so much you just want to make sure you get him no matter what. Which I guess in some circumstances I can understand that, but not for a player like Rayshawn Jenkins coming off a not very good year when he's already on the wrong side of 30 by a good margin. So we'll see what happens. It'd be great. Obviously, the difference between us getting a 6th-round pick and us not getting anything is pretty minor. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to act like there's some seismic shift in the prospects of this offseason if we squeeze out a 6th-round pick for Rayshawn Jenkins. I don't even know if we would get that. It might be one of those where you trade Rayshawn and a 7th for a 6th, or you might get a 6th-round pick in 2026 or 2027. Again, it's all better than nothing, I guess, but not so sure there's going to be any buyers on this one. So if you're a GM of another team who's watching this video and you're thinking about making a trade, ignore everything I just said. But if you're anybody else, just trying to keep it real here on this channel, can't imagine much happening here. But I think this does kind of give away the fact that Rayshawn will not be here in 2025, which we already knew. So maybe it's not really news, but if Schneider can pull one over on somebody, and I do think any trade at all would be pulling one over on somebody, then good for him, I guess. All right, so after the first day of the Combine drills wrap up, I'll try to put together a video talking about some of the highlights and lowlights, some of the players that I think helped themselves and the ones that didn't. So see you guys soon. Go Hawks. We're going to have some fun with that. And it's going to be most of the content on this channel for the rest of the week. And a little bit into next week as well. All right. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Let me know what you think about the Rayshawn stuff, if anything. Go Hawks.